I wouldn't say that there was some sort of individual thing that influences my writing or my lyrics. I think it just comes down to a lot of life experiences and traumatic events. I've always felt a lot more relief in writing things that come from a place of pain or anger or frustration. A lot of hip hop, R&B, rap, trap, female artists definitely help with the writing. I think in the metal world, it's still not accepted to be a woman that hypes herself up and loves herself. So hearing other artists and women like rap about how much they fucking love themselves, like, it really influences my writing and helps me to kind of get that badass, like, even if it's not in the lyrics and in the song, it just helps. So yeah, that's definitely something that I sort of use in my writing.
We do put a lot of emphasis on, social stigmas and toxicity as well. We try and touch on a lot of the subjects that people don't really want to face, and just sort of try and say it how it is. So, it's based mainly on whatever emotion I'm feeling as I step in to start doing some writing, and just try and create a certain mood or vibe through it.
I take ideas and inspiration from like a lot of different places. I love soundtracks for films and video games. The way that sound is used to reinforce an atmosphere or emotion. I think it's quite a cool approach to writing music, and it's cool to approach the way that we write music. I love adding kind of extra layers of post-production stuff to give an atmosphere and a vibe to a track. Alongside this, with the kind of stuff more stuff you'd expect, stuff like North Lane, Fifth and Autopsy and Chelsea Grin recently like a big influence on my writing. In terms of playing, I've always loved like jazz and funk players. I've always loved doing slap bass. I think it's a really fun thing to kind of incorporate to music that we do. Stuff that I play live just makes playing bass in this kind of music a bit more interesting for me, and makes the parts more complex and enjoyable live.
A lot of drummers influence me, such as Vinnie Paul from Pantera, Damage Plan, Eric Moore, the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold, a lot more, but the list is too big. I listen to obviously a lot of metal music. I practice to a lot of pop music, so that influences me as well. Just helps with like technique and chops, and then transfer it over to what we play. So it's not all just about metal, loud, hitting hard. So yeah, a lot of variety of influences. I'm quite an angry person, can't help it, and I feel drums possibly helps that.
To put it bluntly, we just coped, but that's kind of putting it positively. I think a lot of people have this kind of mentality that, well, you just be grateful that you have what you have and just get on with life. And I totally appreciate that, and I understand that we are incredibly privileged people, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we still feel like shit, and we felt like shit, and everything that we'd worked towards was suddenly just cancelled and stopped. So we had a tour with Whitechapel planned across Europe. That was our first booking with Paul Ryan, and we were so excited. And when we got the call that it had been cancelled, it was one of those moments in life where you're so numb because it hurts so much, and the disappointment and the pain and just there's no words. I remember we barely even spoke about it. We were just, didn't even cry, just went numb. And then after that, we were keeping our fingers crossed and hoping and praying that we'd be able to play the Bloodstock Open Air Festival, because we've been announced for that as well. And then that got cancelled, and it was just like a kick in the teeth and then a kick in the stomach.
Trying to work on promotion and making content for an album under kind of lockdown restrictions imposed by the pandemic makes for an environment that's really challenging to work in, and like all the band had to learn to adapt and change how we work. We've been really lucky to have a solid team behind us with our management, our team at Napalm, our videographers who've been able to work with us and help us overcome the problems COVID has caused for like shooting content and videos and stuff. They've made working for the last year a lot easier, and we've got like a lot to thank them for, I think. We've been sitting on this for so long, and it's killed us not to say anything to any of our fans who've been so eager to hear more from us. We're sorry it's taken so long. It'll be worth the wait, we promise.
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know the answer. I spent my whole life, or for as long as I can remember, focusing on being a musician. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's all I've ever wanted to be. And to try and not think that way is just almost impossible for me. So I honestly don't know what I'd be doing. I really like to make people laugh. So it's weird because Vexed obviously is a very angry, passionate outlet that's, you know, full of a lot of hatred, which is amazing because it kind of lets out that emotion for me in a positive way. But in my day-to-day life, I really, really like to make people laugh. And so I'd like to think that somewhere in an alternate universe there is a Megan who's a successful comedian, but there probably isn't. But I can only dream.
If I wasn't in Vexed, I'm not sure what I'd be doing. Probably something creative. I love like graphic design, video, photography, video games. So probably something in that field, be it like video game design or photo work or videos, or something creative. I think 'cause, like, that's the only thing I feel like I've only ever been good at, like something creative as opposed to kind of other stuff. So yeah, definitely something creative in a field like that, I think.
To be honest, that's something I don't even want to think about. I might have gone to uni, potentially psychology or something like that, but whatever I would have been doing, it would just be boring in comparison. So yeah, I really have no idea, nothing of any real interest, to be honest.
So I'd probably be definitely heavily into a sport of some kind. I was always very sporty when I was younger, sort of before music. I was as a teenager anyway, but I feel like playing music sort of led me astray from being just normal and sort of sensible in a way. I used to love watching like Pantera videos where they're all getting fucked up backstage and all that shit, and so I wanted to do that as well before I'd even played a show to more than 50 people. So started heavily drinking and doing a lot of drugs, and yeah, wasted a large chunk of my life. So I don't know what I'd be doing if it wasn't for Vexed.
I am grateful for anything to happen, and I want Vexed to go on for as long as my lungs and legs will allow. But I don't want to jinx anything. So fingers crossed we get to travel the world again with our friends and support some amazing bands. But touch wood, that happens and we can all get back to normal soon.
Who knows? I just want to tour and play shows and travel and keep making sick memories and that, to be honest. Keep making music and hope people continue to fuck with it, really.
Tour everywhere. Europe, America, Asia, Australia, South America. Absolutely everywhere. Just keep releasing music, videos, playing shows, playing festivals, Bloodstock, Download, Hellfest, Resurrection Fest. You name it, we're going to be there.
Hopefully more touring when the pandemic goes away and everything calms down. Who knows how long that's going to be, but we'll see. More music, more albums, more videos, more everything, more Vexed all the time.